Hi. Okay, so in this episode, I want to show you how you can actually pull up your own astrocartography map. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you now. First, you need to go onto astro.com and you want to click on the hamburger filter, and then it goes down here. I'm going to click on locational astrology, travel, and you want to enter your birth details. Now, if you are wanting to set up a user profile, then you can log in here. But if not, if you just want your birth details, enter your birth data here. You need to know what your birth date was, as well as the time of your birth and the location, birth town, not the hospital, just the town that you were born in. So I'm going to put in a fake birth date and person's details. So we'll say that this person was born on the 18th of August, and they were born 11, and then they were born in Dublin, Ireland. There it is, sorry. Dublin, Ireland. Okay, and then click continue. Then this is the map of the world. So just a few things that you can see just straight off the bat is this little red dot here is the birth location. So you can scroll in and you can see that this person was born in Dublin between their Saturn line and their Pluto line. And we'll talk about what these lines mean later in other channels. But I just wanted to sort of get off the basics. So if you zoom back out, this is the map of the world. Now, if you want to add harmonious aspects, this is aspects that can offer support. So the trines and sextiles in astrology. And then the disharmonious aspects are the squares. And those all layer many, many lines across the whole world. Now, people often come to me and say, I have no lines near where I live. And that's not entirely true. Everyone has lines. Yes, a lot of lines will run through the water, but that's not to say that you're going to have absolutely no lines to access. There's always either harmonious or disharmonious lines, or there's a major planetary line. Now you want to get the line, the dots, we'll talk about a little bit later, but the lines themselves, to get as close to the line as possible. If you are within 250 kilometers or like 300 miles of that line, you're still going to feel it. Obviously, the closer you get, the more that energy becomes stronger, and the further away, the weaker that energy is. Some astrocartographers or astrogeographers will say up to like 700 miles. That I feel is quite far. And I often say to my clients, you just imagine if you are basing yourself in Europe, 700 miles could take you to a completely new country. So that's really just to say that, like, keep it as small as possible, as narrow the window as you can. And yeah, this is sort of the basics. Now, the little dots that people often focus on are called zeniths, and they are bubbles of concentrated energy. And very often these actually signify where the planets were at the time of your birth. And very often they are going to be in water, not accessible to people to visit or to travel to. And sometimes they are on land, like this person that we made a profile for has several running through Africa. Some people will find that their zeniths or their lines run through areas that they wouldn't ordinarily consider traveling to or relocating to or living near. And that's not to say that there isn't a way for us to tap into that energy. So in another episode, I'll talk about how you can actually tap into the various lines remotely. But for now, we know how to set up our Astro Map. Now, because we've made this fake account for Gaia Fake, you can look at the map this way, and then it's also it's crucial that you look at his natal chart. So now go back to the hamburger, look at horoscopes, drawings, and data, and look at pulling the chart drawing. We'll look at that first. So I don't want to overcomplicate things. So here, this is the astrology birth chart, the natal chart of Gaia Fake. So we can see that Gaia was born in Leo season. So his sun is in Leo, his moon is in Leo, and we know his rising sign is in Libra. This is the rising sign over here. Now, with astrocartography, we have sun, moon, and all of the planets, as well as the node line and Chiron. We have all of those in the 4 angles in astrology. Now, astrology looks at the ascendant, which is here. That's one angle. Descendant, which is another angle. The RC, or the midheaven. And these 4 angles, so you've got 4 major sun lines, as well as 4 moon, 4 Mercury, 4 Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, the list goes on. So there are different angles and different focus points in astrocartography. And in the same way, you would read a birth chart. So if you have lots of lines accessible to you with an AC, that means it's more an awareness of yourself. So it's a self line. DC are relationship lines, and RC lines are home and family lines, and MC lines are how we show up in the world, so work and career lines. But that's very broad, because not necessarily everyone is focused on work and career, and you don't necessarily only have to focus on the lines that are MC lines just to have a good career and good work ethic. You also need to look at at how these planets are kind of communicating with each other. Another thing that we should look at is, so there's a few points that I like to consider looking at. One is what the rising sign is. So because this is Libra, we know that Libra is ruled by Venus. So Venus would be the chart ruler. So it's very important to kind of look at where Venus placements are for this particular person. So you can see Venus is in Leo in the 10th house. And then we also like to look at the North Node. In evolutionary astrology, the North Node is our Dharma, it's our life purpose, it's where we are going to in this lifetime. And in every chart, the directly opposite the North Node is the South Node. So there is a way to show that South Node in your birth chart, but in this particular chart, it's not showing it, but it is here. It's at 12 degrees in Capricorn. So yeah, this is just how you pull charts, right? So not to overcomplicate things, we'll start off really slow. That's how you pull a chart. And now that you know, pull up your chart and then add in the comments where you are, what lines let's start that again, what lines you live on. So the energy that you were born with at your birth location. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that this was helpful.